Are you going to say it or am I going to say it?
I think you should do it.
Or are we going to let our special guest say it?
They're not going to know.
So normally I start out with this like, hey, everybody. So can we all just like all at once say, hey, everybody? But you got to say it with like excitement.
Oh, yeah, we
Can you do
got
it?
that.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
everybody.
That was pretty good. All right. I'm going to say it by myself here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Muni Misfits. This is the podcast for Fargo Golf, and we are talking golf in the Fargo area today. I got Matt Cook, myself. Between us, we're Osgood and Rose Creek. We're missing one. We got a fallen soldier down on the table here. GMAC is MIA. I don't even know what he's doing today.
You know, it's been a long season already, and GMAC is old. So I think he's probably just taking a little nap.
Sure. Looks like
Not
it.
like a permanent nap, just a brief nap to kind of recharge his batteries and get going.
GMAC, if you're out there, appreciate any comments or suggestions. You might want to be in the chat. So if you want to get a hold of us, just go ahead, comment, subscribe. He's probably not even subscribed to the pod.
I'm
You know
sure
that?
he hasn't. There's no way he's watching us.
So if you haven't done so already, follow us on Spotify, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and then also head on over to fargogolf.net and look at all the 5 public golf courses in the Fargo Golf family. We have special guests today.
We do. You know, we've probably got half of my staff right here, right now.
Yeah. So who is manning the counter, or who is? We can't say manning the counter, right? We don't say that anymore, right? What do we say?
Well, in this case, it is manning the counter because it is Noah Johnson. So Noah is running the creek by himself solo right now with us being absent. So we're gonna make this a quick show so we can get back. We don't want the fire
Come on
department
now.
to show up with
Nope.
flames coming out of the building, and Noah will be fine. But it is a busy Friday morning. It is a beautiful Friday morning.
It's awesome.
It's going to be a great day for golf. So if you haven't made your tee time yet, get out there now, fargogolf.net. Make your tee time now online.
Okay. So who do we got today?
We've got Ava and Sydney from the Rose Creek Golf Shop. And we've got kind of a cool story with those two. It's something that you've talked to me about a lot. And so, yeah, we're kind of excited. I'll let you kind of roll with it.
Okay.
Go with it.
I'm right in. Okay. So a while did you guys come up with this idea by yourself, by the way?
No, we didn't.
So we actually heard, we haven't had it confirmed, but Jeff Reddig played all 5 Fargo Parks courses. And
Okay.
Adam Gronis was telling me about it about a month ago. And Ava and I do some crazy stuff. So we're like, why not? A little fun golf outing.
So and what day was it? It was on a Friday?
Yeah, last Friday.
Okay. Because I remember you came into Osgood, and then Osgood was your 3rd course.
Yep.
Right. And it was kind of funny because they were like, yeah, we're on a schedule. I'm like, what kind of schedule do you guys have that, you got to be in and out of here? And, like, well, we're playing all 5 golf courses. And immediately I'm thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. So if you haven't heard, I mean, we've got 5 golf courses in the Fargo family here. And what does that amount to?
63 holes.
There's some discrepancy there though, right?
Minus
that's
the
true.
3
Yeah,
holes.
that's true.
So, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, if you can get out and you can play all 5 golf courses in a day. We still got some long days right now. And that's quite a feat that you guys were able to accomplish. How did you game plan playing all 5 in a day?
So it took a lot of back and forth. We weren't really sure pace of play wise, and that was a huge thing. We knew that we had to start at Edgewood first and foremost because we felt like if we got a strong start there, then it was going to be super attainable to get to the rest of the courses. So we knew we had to be the first tee time there, but we really had no clue.
So what time did you start at Edgewood?
6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m. Was that the first time you guys had ever played golf at 6:30
The
a.m.?
first and the
Yes.
last time.
Sponsored by Starbucks?
Yeah,
Yes.
sponsored by Starbucks.
Okay, so you're off and running at Edgewood at 6:30. How long did it take to play? And were you like super mindful of like, okay, we got to schedule, we got to set the pace right. So did you play like super fast, like your first round?
Yeah, we
played
did.
in 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Okay, so you totally hustled.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
had initially planned our second tee time for 10 a.m. at Alzagle. And so we were looking at the tee sheet as we were moving through our round and we're like, we're gonna beat this. Like we need to move it up. And so luckily there was a 9:20 tee time. So we're like, we'll probably make that. And we still made it there with plenty of time to spare.
That's awesome. So did we keep score on?
No, we tried on a couple courses, but no, just hit and go.
Yeah.
So what, I mean, I'm not a math magician here, but what would par be on 63 holes? We got to think about that. What that scorecard would look like.
71, 71, 27. What's that right there? 142,
Math in public.
169. And what's Osgood?
So we're 33. You guys didn't play the loop. We'll talk
202.
about that.
And Prairiewood is 234. Does that sound right? Probably.
230, par 234.
About it.
So
Or take a shot or two.
sure. Okay, so you're off and running at Edgewood, and then you went to El Zagle, had plenty of time to play the Zag, played that in roughly
About 50 minutes. We teed off
days.
early,
You guys are
actually,
cruising.
and we were walking too. So it was super nice. It was nice to just have that because we had wanted to walk Prairiewood as well, but then we're like, as we were moving through, we're like, we're probably not going to be able to. So it was nice having one course to walk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so then after El Zagle, then went to
Lunch.
Or lunch, technically.
We took a long break in between, which was nice because our tea time Osgood was packed. You know,
Yeah.
it's Friday afternoon, so our tea time at Osgood wasn't until 12:20.
So, but think about this. You guys played 5 rounds of golf and you were able to have like a nice lunch
Yeah.
in the middle. Okay. So then you had lunch and then you go to Osgood. All right. And that was packed. You guys had a busy day. You're in the middle of the day at that point. And then after Osgood, you did
Prairiewood.
Prairiewood. Okay. And played Prairiewood in how long?
It was a good, like the good full 2 hours. It was
Okay.
pretty slow there.
Well, and it was a nice day
Yeah,
too, right? So you
beautiful.
guys picked a good one, and then you finished it up, home course, finished it up at Creek. I saw some posts there with Facebook. How you had like the staff there, like rooting you
yeah,
on. Did you have some staff that like played with you at the end, or
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a couple staff members play with us and ride along.
cool? And so when did you finish?
We got done. It was 8:57.
That's so cool. So okay, so Matt and I, we've been talking about like even in the off season, how cool would this be if we had like a Fargo Parks Play All 5 event where it was actually a legit event where we have tea times at each facility, and then we might have to think about how we would do like a transportation type deal, but you could then shuttle some people around, have I don't know how many people you could feasibly do this with, but then award like a champion for the Play All 5, award champions at each facility. That'd be pretty neat. And you could do it like with teams. Oh man, there's so many possibilities that you could do with that. Are we on for next year, Matt?
I think it'd be a very, very fun tournament. And there'd be some strategy we'd have to kind of figure out how to logistically to go about it. And maybe it's not even something where we'd actually have fixed tee times. Maybe we'd basically say you register at first course you go to, and they get a stamp for each course they play or something like that. Turn your scorecard or set
And
it
just
all
have
up
a
online.
big party at the end.
Yeah. No, I think
So
that'd
much
be
fun.
that'd be some fun deal. So you said Jeff Reddick had actually played all 5 in one day as well. So that's where you kind of heard about it.
Yeah, our source is Adam Gronis. We haven't talked to Jeff Reddick,
Okay.
but yeah, yep.
Well, that's cool. I wonder how many people have actually done that in our system. I imagine not many, but maybe there's a few others that have tried doing that same feat. But
Yeah, all in one day. So if anyone's done it before and you're listening, go ahead and let us know how you did it, what your experience was, and any advice. Because this is, I mean, the fact that you guys were able to tee off at 6:30, have lunch in the middle, and then still finish at 8:30, and you walked one of the golf courses. Could you imagine just if you did like all walking? That would be brutal.
I would be like Greg.
Yeah.
Like Greg.
So, okay, so how long have you guys been playing golf then?
I've probably been. I got my first set of clubs at 5. So
Okay, so been playing a decent time. You've grown up with it,
Yeah.
right? So, the part that like, what made you want to do this?
that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like It's just something we really love the game, and it doesn't really matter your skill level. Like, you know, we're not consistent with practice and everything, but it just felt like something that was attainable yet challenging in the same way. So it felt like it was going to be just a little exciting time.
So, and you guys have like a little snap story,
Yes.
correct? Okay, what's the
Yes.
name of the snap story?
Well, it's a private story on my Snapchat, but it's the Creek After Hours story. We put some fun behind the scenes at the Creek. We got the coworkers on there.
So this is some major content that you're generating
Oh,
for,
yeah.
yeah. So we'll have to, I mean, I'm not, are you a Snapchat guy?
I'm not a Snapchat guy.
Or you're just a normal chat guy? You're not a Snapchat.
I'm just chatty. Yeah.
You're just chatty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand Snapchat. I show my age there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on like, those are the major three, right? Then the Snapchat, TikTok, that's that type of stuff I don't understand. But I got to take a peek and see what's on this Creek After Hours. This sounds awesome. So like, what kind of stuff do you throw on there?
If like, I don't know, if one of our coworkers does something funny, snap a picture of it on the Creek After Hours story.
Yeah, we have a lot of
There's
different
been a lot of
content.
Tell
There's a
me
lot of
there's
different
stuff
content.
about Matt Cook on there.
I was actually thinking, or maybe I was telling you about it. I don't think he's not been on the Creek After Hours
I
story.
think he's the one guy that hasn't made a feature on there.
Yeah.
Tori in charge of marketing right now is just like quaking. She's going, I do not want to know about this. That's so good. Well, let's talk about what we got going on at our golf courses. What do you got going on? We'll just kind of breeze right into Creek since we got half your staff here. So let's talk about what's happening at Creek this week and into next.
You know what? It's almost like wash, rinse, repeat. Once again, the golf courses remain extremely busy. I was kind of wondering if we'd kind of have a slow point sometime this summer, but even through the heat that we've had recently, it has been very crazy to say the least. We do have our men's club championship on Saturday, so we're really excited for that. It's not our last men's club event of the year, but it's
What's
kind of our big
the
major.
format there?
So we actually have is we've got multiple flights. They've got actually just a championship flight for just 27 holes, and we've got some really good players that are be competing tomorrow morning for that. We also do have a mid-am, which is 35 and older. We have a senior championship flight, which we started here, I think, last year. Once again, some great players as far as our senior championship. I think there's a few players there that could easily go the other direction and compete
Sure.
very well. You've got to be 60 years of age or older to play in that. We do have just some senior flights and we do have regular flights as well. And so no, we're really excited. That'll start tomorrow morning. We get the championship out bright and early at 6:30 kickoff as they're going around the loop 27 holes. So that should be kind of fun. We do have one corporate event next Monday. Otherwise, the rest of the week should be pretty slow outside of league activities. And leagues continue to be strong as well. And so kind of excited as we move into August already this coming week.
It's happening.
It's just
Yep.
nuts. So how about you over at Osgood?
So tonight we got couples night. Tonight's our second to last one. We are playing. What is the game tonight? Oh, we're playing on course events night. So every hole has got an on course event on it. And the events are a little weird. So like one of the events that's super fun is the fastest hole in golf. So hole number 3, we set it up. We've got a staff member out there with a stopwatch, and you can decide not to participate if you don't want to go for the time, but it's your score plus your time is your total score for the fastest hole. So if you make a 3 in 33 seconds, that's a 3.33.
And so is this like a 4-player event?
This is 4 players.
Is
Yep.
it a scramble? Or?
It is a scramble.
And so as soon as the first person hits the ball, to the first person that holds it.
Yeah, so you
almost.
can choose. There's some strategy here. You can choose to have somebody hit the shot and then have people waiting up by the green to then putt it, or you can do it however you want because it's a scramble, but obviously once you hit the next shot, you've taken that first one. It's not like you can't go back and try it again. So it's pretty funny. We did have some people compete at I got to look at the records, but I think last year the quickest time was somewhere around like 15 or 20 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean they ended up hitting it on the green pretty close and then 2 putts, boom, boom. And there you go. Pretty crazy. So that's one of the events. Then we'll have some various others, longest putt with a hockey stick, close to the keg, all sorts of kind of goofy stuff out there. So we do have, I think we still have some openings there, but for the most part, our couples nights have been pretty good. We've been rolling with about 14 to 8. We haven't got up to 18, 14 to 16 teams of 4, pretty much every other Friday. The last one we got on the schedule is the one that usually sells out. That is Deal or No Deal. Did you guys ever watch that game show, Deal or No Deal?
Yeah, I kind of
Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we like to take game shows or board games and stuff, and then try and like format them in a way that you can play a side game in golf. So, anyways, that one's usually a fan favorite. If you haven't done so already, you can go over to osgood.golfgenius.com, and then you can register for all of those events too. Outside of couples night, though, we got just a busy weekend, and then the following week we're pretty clear. We're back into league play, and that's about it. We have a couple corporate events scheduled for the remainder of August, but we say this every week, and my wife is probably sick of me saying this. It's like one more week, just one more week, right? It seems like it starts tapering down, but the golf courses are very, very busy. You guys work the front desk, so you guys know what's going on. How long have you worked at Creek now?
This is both our 3rd year.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys got thrown into like,
They got the post-COVID era.
yeah. So you guys have
They don't-
only known busy.
Yeah, and
Right?
It seems like it just keeps getting busier each year somehow.
Did you
Crazy.
ever remember a time, Matt, where you were sitting in meetings ever thinking that you needed to get more people into golf? Like, I mean, we think that as coaches and our involvement with junior golf, but do you remember prior to COVID when I remember sitting on the private side of things and the club side saying like, well, how do we get more people into the game? How do we get more people to become members? And right now it's like, those conversations are so far gone.
It's very true. I mean, you were looking at all different demographics and, who can we attack here to kind of bring them into the game. And even though pre-COVID, the 4 or 5 years previous, I think we all thought we were doing pretty good. We thought we were really pretty busy. I mean, we were kind of busy when we anticipated being busy, but yet there was going to be some inventory available.
Yep.
It used to be where Saturday, Sunday afternoon, by 3, 4 o'clock, it's really kind of thinning out by that time. Tee times are going to be much easier to attain at that point. Weekday mornings, you could kind of come on out even as a solo or probably a twosome, and there might be a chance maybe we can wiggle you in somewhere. And this was all pre-COVID. And now it's like, even for singles, sometimes, I mean, you're looking, they call on in like, hey, can you squeeze a single in? You're looking like, man, on paper right now, no. That
Right.
being said, if you want to come on out, take your chances, and put you on standby, see where that all falls. But I would have never imagined that. But no, we used to have a lot of meetings, talking about, how can we grow the game? What can we do, to bring more people into the game of golf? And it's still our goal is to continue to introduce the game to different parts of populations and try to bring more and more people into it. But it's hard to have that accessibility right now.
So now a lot of your friends play golf?
Not really.
No.
Okay, so what do we need to do better to bring your friends into the game of golf? Because we're good with old guys, and we're good with, I would say the demographic that, has always grown up with the game. But right now, we need to usher in like a new generation. And how do we market ourselves to be better? How do we get your friends playing golf?
It's all about money, isn't it? That's what we're hearing from some. It's all about money.
Is that true?
Good
You're so
question.
happy, Tori, that you don't have a mic today, aren't you? Because we don't even get to check in on you today, do we?
We do.
Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down? Would it have been good or bad? Okay, that's what I thought.
We do these check-ins with our producer Tori and just kind of get golf updates. She's been kind of dragging her feet recently of getting on the golf course, and I guess we need to pay her more.
Yeah, we have to monetize her practice schedule apparently. Okay, so what do we need to do to get your friends playing golf? What would it take?
Snapchat story.
Snapchat. Okay, so we need to expand our social. Okay, what else?
I think that
Would you say that golf is like I mean, it's becoming cooler, right?
yeah, definitely.
So what are we missing right now? Or are we hitting the mark? Would you think is golf in a good spot according to your generation?
I feel like it really is because I feel like my friends have shown interest even though they don't golf. They A lot of them have tried it and are interested in coming back, but they just don't have the time and such. But I have seen I've seen so much on social media about new people joining the game and getting into it and even on TikTok, so many people are becoming so interested in golf and even watching golf and just um everything surrounding that I feel like has so many people have shown more interest in.
So like when I and it's probably the what is it? I'm thinking of Instagram. What's the code that, it gives you the stuff that is algorithm. It's probably my algorithm, right? That I always see stuff popping up on like the Top Golfs, the Sweet Shots, and those types of things. It seems like those those places are just huge for getting young people into the game. And I think of those Sweet Shots and those Top Golfs as like a bowling alley. Would you not agree with that? In that I'm not a bowler. I'm not a bowler, but I have bowled quite a bit. I would not consider myself a bowler, but I have bowled quite a bit. I am not involved in the sport. I'm a social bowler. And I think when it comes to Top Golf and Sweet Shots and those types of places, that's how people are getting brought into it. And I think a lot of people still love going to the driving range,
I
right?
think, I think you and I, like when we got into the sport, we were introduced, and I think for the most part, we've always kind of thought it as almost like a contest. It's a true sport. I mean, you're trying to play and you're trying to play it well. And score is important, and we still can have fun doing that. But I think you looked at that bowling analogy, and the same thing. I think of the same thing. It's kind of this. People were into it. It was a sport. They participated in leagues and did that. But as they kind of ventured on out and said, this is kind of like an entertainment, and so they started doing things like rock and bowl and putting gutters in or putting the bumpers in the gutters and all this to kind of make it more fun. And so to have some more entertainment appeal and have some value there, it's like, if I'm going to take, 2 hours out of my time, I don't want to go to a bowling alley and it's just kind of like a stale atmosphere. And I just keep rolling in the gutter and, wow, that was fun. I just made 3 this game and I made 7 next game. Well, golf the same way. You go on out there. And so that's where I think some of those things like your Sweet Shots and what are some of even the putting courses now they're
The
doing?
pop
The
stroke.
pop stroke, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I look at even like, when we've done some destination deals, you think of like Pinehurst, like even on their short course, and they've got speakers, like out in the
Mhm.
rocks, and so you've got this kind of cool atmosphere, some music playing. It's a fun golf course, not going to beat you up too bad. I think those are all things that, just like I say, just raise the kind of the entertainment value. It's like, if I'm going to invest this time and money, I want to walk away having a great time or having an enjoyable time. And for some, I think golf, going on out there and spending 4 hours, 4.5 hours at a game that's not necessarily easy, that's probably not a lot of fun for some. And the other thing I think that golf's just changed a lot, is obviously we're more tolerable on a lot of things like music on the golf course to a certain degree. But I also it's kind of fun when you just look around, like a lot of weekends, and you girls have definitely seen this. People come out, and they've got their pairs, their buddies, or maybe their groups. And I'm telling you what, they dress for the occasion. So the golf clothing even has gotten just like crazy. It's gotten fun, zany. I think of back like in the 90s when Nike got first introduced as far as in the apparel industry. And they had a Nike book, which included like their golf ball line, their equipment line, and their apparel line. And to go to their apparel, it was like on the last page. And it was like 4 men's polos. You could get red, white, navy, and black.
And you had them all.
And yeah, I had them all. And so, I mean, everything I think is for those that I think they're coming into the game, that's the deal. They're making it kind of a fun entertainment afternoon, or morning. So
So I think another thing that would make golf, or is making golf, more intriguing to the younger generation is simply taking away some of the strict rules that are associated with, hey, I got to put a score down, right? And playing specifically by the rules. And then the different formats that are available. So I was listening to a pod on the way over, the Eric Anders Lang show. You familiar with Eric Anders Lang at all? Does adventures in golf and stuff. Tell me if this strikes you as anything that you would either like to participate in or facilitate. I already know that the facilitating of this would be a nightmare, but this sounds really, really fun. So he's got a company called the Random Golf Club, and they specialize in just bringing like this. It's basically a decentralized golf community where you guys are part of this grander golf community where there's these meetups all around the country. This latest thing is called the Mad Scramble. It is coming to Minneapolis. The Mad Scramble is going to be August 10th, and it's 50 plus people, sometimes 100 people playing in a single pairing scramble, 9 holes.
So
It is a giant party that goes from hole to hole to hole to hole. And they do 9 holes, and everybody plays, everybody putts. If you see the videos of this, it is incredible. The bev carts are following, and it is madness. There's hole-in-ones that happen. There's all sorts of crazy things. So they're going to be playing, let's see, August 10th, and it's at I've never played this place, Emerald Greens. You know Emerald Greens at all?
I've definitely heard of it, obviously, but no, I've not played it yet, so I've not been there.
Okay. Are you in, ladies? Are you in on a 50-person scramble?
Yes.
Does that sound like fun to you?
Yeah.
It sounds like an absolute nightmare for pace of play, but it's like it takes apparently about 4 hours to play 9 holes. So it's not. I mean, that sounds awful, but it's not like crazy awful.
And thinking of that, that would be almost like, we've a lot of people have talked around here now as far as busiest things been. They're like, oh man, we could use another golf course. And right now, as it is, if you could just go and snap your fingers and have a golf course, it might do pretty well right now. Because like I said, we have a lot of people out playing. But having just like maybe an alternative type venue that you could just do those type of fun things, it's hard like to try to pull something that off as busy as we are and as short as
Right.
our season is. I mean, we get individuals all the time that are coming on out and wanting to, we've got 6 individuals. Can we all play together? We're like, no. And of course, do we ever get people that kind of play 3 and 3 and then group up? Yeah. And we go and break them on up once again. And as cool as it would be, and it would be a lot of fun. And we understand that. And we also understand you can play fast. It just doesn't work very well because then the next group and the group after that, the group after that, probably all want to play 6, and it just wouldn't work very well. But that being said, I think that'd be an awesome type of a deal to have at a certain venue, those type of activities. Just
And they
something that's
do
outside
that
the box.
one later in the evening, right? So I think it starts at like 3:00 or 4:00, and persist through the rest, basically probably till dark. But
That could be like a great thing, even though like at a short course,
yeah, are you saying Osgood, or
I think
you were
even shorter,
looking
yeah,
right at me when
literally
you said
no,
short course?
I'm thinking, I'm looking at
Just joking.
looking at Sleepy Man there.
Yeah,
I'm doing even something like at the Zag or something like that. It'd be kind of fun.
it would be, right? So like getting the whole community together and say, hey, let's go shoot the lowest score possible. I think they like keep score with this, and a 50-person scramble. What do you think a 50-person scramble would look like? I mean, people are holing out from like the fairway, because you have 50 shots at it. It is a riot. So anyways, check that out. Random Golf Club. It's pretty cool gig that they got going on. But that kind of when you guys played all 5, just thinking of ways that you can make golf new again. And it's not just showing up for your standard tee time, doing the same old thing. There's new ways that you can play golf. It doesn't have to be just the basic, I'm playing 18 holes at 8:00 in the morning, right? With the same people. So lots of opportunity out there. What else do you got for notes there? You came prepared, or is it just a bunch of blank pages over there, Matt?
You know what? I did my quick 60-second preparation, and One
You're
thing is,
super good at that quick preparation though. Like I don't know
yeah,
how you get all that stuff done.
it's kind of cool because we've been fortunate in Minnesota, or in our region, I should say, to be able to have some great PGA Tour events. And we've had one staple, it's been kind of a staple for a little while now with 3M Open going on this week.
That
Which
must be where Greg's at. Is he playing? Is Greg at the 3M?
maybe
Did he
is.
qualify? Did he have an exemption?
This week is kind of cool. The field isn't like major star studded, but there are some good players. I mean, Justin Thomas is there, Tony Finau's there, Tom Hoagie's there.
Tom threw in a 3. Was he 3 under? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's being played over at TPC Twin Cities in Blaine. Cool little venue. They just finished day one. What's really neat about this though is that we're getting down to the crunch time as far as what we're getting for the FedEx Cup for one. And so these last guys trying to work their way in the top 70. Also Ryder Cup points. I mean, there's a lot of buzz right now about Ryder Cup. I mean, I'm looking down the list right now as far as Ryder Cup. The following players as of today would be locked as far as Scheffler, Clark, Wyndham Clark, Harmon off his most recent victory, moved up boatload. Koepka, Schauffele, and Cantlay, those would all be locks as of today. But I mean, how would you like to be the captain now and try to figure out these others? You've got guys like Homa, Cameron Young, Spieth, Bradley, Morikawa, Fowler. That's your next 6 on the list. Sam Burns, Thomas at 13th and 14th.
Because Zach Johnson's got 6 captain picks, right?
Correct.
That's what he got. So you've got the 6 locks,
Yep.
right? And then he's got 6 captain's picks.
So at outside of the top 12, like I say, Sam Burns, Justin Thomas, Tony Finau.
JT's so far down though. Where's JT on that list?
Well, in Ryder Cup, he's actually at 14th. I mean, because like I say, it's more of recent where kind of he's had his down turn. And then Tom Hoagie, long shot 24th right now. But so that's, I mean, they're playing for that, but then also, with the right now, as far as leading after day one, I know is Lee Hodges, as far as he shot 8 under yesterday, a great score. Streelman, Matsuyama, Snedeker, and Duncan all at 7. Snedeker, is that a blast from the past? I mean, honestly, he's played, I think, in 6 events this year, missed 4 cuts. He's now down to, what is he? 750th in world ranking.
He does play well at courses though, where you need to shoot the lights out, when you need to make a lot of birdies, not necessarily. I mean, and I don't know what the yardage is at TPC Blaine. It's a little bit newer, so I'd expect they're playing a decent yardage, but I do know they make a lot of birdies out there. So Sneds usually plays good in those types of venues. Also, it's a opposite field event, or what are they, non-designated, whatever terminology we're using right now. So it's not going to be star-studded. But yeah, that's pretty impressive though, because he's had a long storied career. That's pretty cool to see him up at the top there.
What did Justin Thomas shoot yesterday?
2 under.
2 under. So he's just barely above the cut line right now. So he's got to grind today and hopefully make the weekend and then see if he can move from there. But there's going to be some movers as far as this week. I think Hodges himself right now being at first, I think, has moved drastically. He's just outside the top 70. So it'll be kind of fun. Yeah, he was just outside at 74th right now. He's projected to go to 33. So quite a move. Tom Hoagie's sitting pretty good right now, obviously inside the top 70. I think he's like 45th or something like that. But if a decent move, he'd like to get up in that top 30 anyway. So
it'd be huge to see Tom win close to home, and then maybe get into the discussion for Ryder Cup. So have you guys ever gone to a Ryder Cup?
Yes.
Okay. So where's the Ryder Cup?
I went to the last one at Whistling Straits in 2021.
You went to Whistling Straits. That would have
Yes.
been that would have been epic.
That was a ton of fun.
Did you go to Hazeltine?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Do you know where it's at this year?
it's in Rome.
Yes. And I've heard mixed reviews on the golf course, but
So what's that? Is it kind of shorter? Putting's going to be critical,
and the fairways and everything is like super tight, and there's a lot of really kooky, crazy turns and balls bouncing into native, like tall grass areas. And it's a golf course that, I mean, obviously when we're playing in the US, we pick golf courses that our team does very well at. Same with Europe. Europe picks a golf course that, may focus more on accuracy, not necessarily on bombing the ball, and then definitely on putting where they feel like they've got an advantage there. So, um, yeah, the Rome's going to be an interesting one. Could you imagine though being able to go to a Ryder Cup in Rome? How fun! How fun would that be? Talk about, I mean, Whistling Straits, the venue is fantastic, but Rome, the city of Rome would be just amazing to go see a Ryder Cup in.
I think anything over the pond would be kind of exciting, though. I mean, just to go see what it's like going on foreign soil. Yeah, obviously, I've had a chance to get to. We're at Medina, and then what's really kind of cool is we've been really fortunate to have a lot kind of more regional. I mean, they had Medina, Hazeltine, Straits up in Kohler, Wisconsin. So a lot of it going on kind of in our area, which is neat. And then we're back again in Hazeltine in 29. So
Hazeltine's such a good setup for a Ryder Cup. That golf course, when they designed it for big venues. There's lots of open spaces where they can fit everything in. It doesn't feel like it's, they're wedging people in there. It feels like, and the transportation around and the shuttling that they do such a good job. The golf course, I'm not like a crazy fan of Hazeltine, but as far as like dramatic moments, it's provided a lot of drama for the PGA Championships and then for the Ryder Cup. So I mean, it's hard to knock it because it's produced some really great moments there at number 16. And I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see when it comes back to Hazeltine as well. Who's your pick then for obviously we got 6 locks. Who's your pick then on the Ryder Cup list then? If you had to pick one that is maybe outside of the next 6, who are you picking? I mean, you said JT is just outside at 14.
I think it's Sydney will love me for this. She kind of has, I think, a little crush on JT, and so. But I would say that if he can turn things around, it hasn't been good recently. But if he can turn things around, is there anybody better recently in team events than Justin Thomas?
But yeah, so you got to get the brothers back, right? You go JT and Spieth because that's all they play. I mean, they just play together, right? But he shot like 80,000 at Hoylake.
Don't count him out.
Don't count him out. He's got to get his stuff together, man. I mean, what did he fire final round or his final round anyway at Hoylake? Do you guys remember what was it like? Or did he come back? Was it his first round that he shot like 80, 88 or I'm just
Like
making this up.
11 over or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think was he close to like 11 over the one day and even the other or something like that?
Okay, so nice little bounce back there.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you're going with JT. Who do you got there? You're picking JT then? You think that's going to happen?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think, and the next couples, he's an assistant captain. He came out just this week, even basically just said that Homa, Young, and Spieth are locks.
Yeah.
So basically we got 9 guys that are going for sure as of today, so it's really, you've got, I don't know, maybe half a dozen guys for the next 3 spots potentially.
Ricky's got to be on there, right?
Yes, he's at 12th right now. He's at 12th, and then like I say, so once you go beyond that, I mean, Sam Burns, Justin Thomas, McCarthy, Kitayama, Zalatoris, Harry English.
That's crazy. Zalatoris is still that high. He hasn't played at all because of the medical. So that's a non pick there.
Otherwise, you'd have to go down to like Woodland or Kuchar, 29th and 31st. Dustin Johnson way down to 35th.
Blah. All right.
So
okay, I like that. I like the JT pick. I like the Homa pick too. I think that's a for sure. So, all right. Anything else you got in your packet of info there?
Oh, it's kind of cool. I just seen this story real quick, and PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan was back.
The rollback
back in action.
Yeah.
Well, the rollback, it sounded like, but he kind of came out with a few things as far as in a memo recently. He's talking a little bit about the negotiations continue to go on with PGA Tour Advisory Board, the PIF. Also talked about, indicated that PGA players who did not defect to the Saudi-backed Live Golf Tour would receive a financially significant repayment. So that came on out. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where that goes.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
That's so gross. Do you guys follow this at all?
Yeah, I am not a live fan at all.
Okay. Well, the fact that, I mean, you had a chance to go get your money, right? And since you stayed, do you think these guys deserve a loyalty bonus? Do you think that's a and how do you how do you monetize how loyal you are? Is it based on how good of a player this seems very like, okay, you get $1 million, you get $1 million, you get like 500,000. Like what? How
I
is
would
that?
so the same thing. It said, this memo indicated the tour has appointed a task force to develop potential pathways back to the PGA Tour for live players who wish to reapply. So, how would you feel about this? Would you do nothing? Just say you guys can come on back. Would you give those that were loyal some sort of loyalty repayment? Or would you, so that's two options, or would you say, if you want to come back, here's your pathway, and it's going to be in a penalty or some other form of, we told you you ain't coming back, needling. What would be your preference there of those three? So nothing, pay the players that were loyal, or penalize those that coming back. And how would what would that penalty look like?
I'm somewhere in the area of like either do nothing or I've always liked the idea of like, okay, if you still have status on the PGA Tour, I mean, you then have, wherever you left off, like that's like kind of the no penalty. I truly don't have a problem with that. And then the guys that then have maybe fallen out of those rankings, they got to go through Q school again. They got to go through those stages and got to come back that way. We're not going to get, is it Chase Koepka? Can't imagine what his world ranking is. There's a bunch of guys that are playing on the live tour that their world ranking is, wouldn't grant them status on the PGA tour. So I think those guys are, they got to go through the normal pathway to get back on. I think if we start, telling guys that we're gonna penalize them and or we're gonna give these big bonuses to guys that didn't go, I think it just kind of leaves the door open for something else to happen again. I think that if we can go through this stronger and better and realize that, okay, we realize that there was an error here, but I think the more penalties and legal stuff that comes into the equation, I think it just hurts the sport, Ultimately, we just want to get the best players playing golf again.
Right.
This doesn't this remind you of um like baseball in the early 90s when there was striking going on, and like I completely, was it mid 90s? I can't remember, but that's when we lost a lot of fans in baseball during the strikes. And this is kind of the same thing when you have all these people defecting to another tour, we're diluting the fields. And so no one really cares about either. Then let's get to the point where we get everyone playing in the best golf tournaments and maybe not, this might sound weird, but maybe not have this many tournaments because obviously, well, now the PGA Tour's got plenty of money with this new. It's not a merger. It's a merger. It's not a merger. But they're gonna be flush with some cash, and so I mean they can probably afford to get a lot of players at various events. But prior to that, they were struggling to pay the bills, and that's where we're at. So maybe we need less events to continue the fan support. That's my 2 cents.
No, that's good. Yeah, and also in the memo, as you just kind of mentioned, they did just announce once again the opposition to the USGA and RNA's joint proposal to roll back the golf ball in men's professional golf, which probably isn't a surprise. But
So just in the PGA Tour, not has nothing to do with LPGA or anything like that. Ladies, do you hit the ball too far? Do you hit it way too far? So far, in fact, you're making the golf course far too easy.
Yes. Yep.
So you would be in great support of this rollback of the golf ball where it goes, what are we saying, 10%, 10% shorter?
If today was opposite day, then yes.
Because it's going to be, now from a retailer perspective, how the heck is this going to work? 10% shorter golf balls. Who's signing up for that?
right.
Are you selling any of those in the golf shop?
No.
Okay. So then, what
New
manufacturer?
and improved, shorter and more crooked.
Yeah, shorter and crooked. Coming to a golf shop near you. So, would you? What manufacturer is signing up for this?
I can't imagine anybody.
Titleist has got to be just going, what the heck?
Right.
And in fact, they did. All these manufacturers were allowed. Are we still in the comment period? Do you know? It's like we have a comment period where all these leading manufacturers have time to assert their opinions to the USGA. And it does sound like the USGA is like, yeah, this is happening. We are going to roll this thing back. And now you got the PGA, the other governing body of professional golf, saying, we ain't taking it. So who's making the ball?
I don't know.
And is it gonna be where we get into similar to like NASCAR and Indy, where there's one manufacturer of an engine or various forms of an engine that you can choose from? So there's only one specific golf ball or two or three specific golf balls that you can choose. It's going to be wildly interesting to see what happens, especially when you're playing a different golf ball for a US Open and a different golf ball for a PGA Championship.
Interesting stuff.
So, all right. You have anything else to add?
I've got nothing.
You got nothing? Ladies, thanks for coming on today.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Was it? Really?
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else to add? Do you want to like say thanks to your boss for letting you come on the show, or do you like
Nothing.
Thank you so much, Matt Cook.
Yes, thank you, Matt Cook.
You don't have to do that.
I tell you, I'm lucky. I've got a great staff. This is really cool. We can do things like this and can enlighten us of what's going on as far as in the golf world and also on social media. And so
Once I figure out Snapchat, I'm gonna log out. I don't even know. I'm gonna log on. I'm gonna figure the Creek after hours. I'm gonna figure that out. There's got to be some good stuff on Matt Cook there. So, anyways, if you haven't done so already, head over to fargogolf.net. Book your tee times for all the 5 public golf courses here in the Fargo Golf family. You can check out all of the events. You can check out what else can you look at? You can book your tee time straight from there and 3 days in advance because the golf course is still hot. They're still booked up like crazy. But if you get in 3 days, I'm sure you'll find a tee time. Golf course is in great shape. Kudos to our superintendents. They are busting their tails to make sure they're on top of the watering and just course conditions are fantastic right now. And it is super duper hot. So they are working extra hard. So thank you, superintendents. And then if you haven't done so, Muni Misfits on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Subscribe, follow, and like. Hey, not to put you on the spot here, but if you subscribed, followed, and liked?
I have not subscribed, followed, and liked.
I appreciate your honesty.
I will right after this.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in the same boat here. I don't even have a Facebook, so I might have to.
That's how old we are, Matt. And I already knew I was old, but they don't even know what Facebook is. Like that's how old we are. We need to figure out our audience.
Woman out here.
So, thanks for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Mac, thanks for being here. Oh, wait, what? All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, folks.